Now, viewers, we're being joined by Shashi Dhantunge, former head of Sri Lankan Shipping Corporation, who's joining us from Colombo, Sri Lanka itself. Mr. Dhantunge, thank you for speaking to us on India Today, and a very good morning to you. Very firstly, I would want to, in fact, understand the extent of the damage that's been incurred, the loss of life that's been reported. How many could be saved from that particular warship when the attack took place? If you could just bring us those details first.
Yes, good morning to all. What we understand from the official news that they have recovered about 78 patients, I mean the people who have got injured and brought into the hospitals, and the remaining lives, over 100 they believe, is still missing, and the position is that from the official sources in Sri Lanka.
Right, Mr. Dhantunge, just want to understand, this war has been spilling over, and now with targets being attacked in the Indian Ocean, it becomes concerning for the countries in the Indian and subcontinental region. This particular warship was right off the Sri Lankan coast. What exactly are the measures that are being taken by Sri Lanka at this point of time to ensure that such attacks, if indeed do take place, it does not end up harming any assets from the Sri Lankan side? What precautionary measures are you taking?
From the outset, I believe it is something totally unexpected. They never expected this to be come this far so soon. And the country, as you know, the Sri Lanka is coming out of its own troubles after several years. And they were all at the moment worried about its energy security and its own public affairs. But they never expected that they will have to get involved in a kind of this situation, which suddenly happened, unfortunately. So, of course, we can't avoid, in the time of war, you have to believe always something unexpected to happen. So I believe that with the Sri Lankan military's experience, and they have been quite successful in their military affairs within the country, and they will use their every effort to protect the country as well as help whatever that is needed according to the laws of the shores.
I'll also want to understand how has this attack in fact disrupted Sri Lanka's shipping routes and port traffic at Colombo at this point of time, and also whether there was any conversation that's taken place between the US and the Sri Lankan side at this point of time, right after this attack, to establish what exactly is the situation and whether Sri Lanka should be prepared for any such attacks yet again in the upcoming times.
Well, it's a good question, actually. There is no official confirmation about such discussions being initiated between the two countries or the diplomatic channels. But however, it is definitely worrying because this is a time that everybody is, more concerned about how would it affect the cost of living. And with this kind of situation happening within our exclusive economic zone, definitely there can be an impact on insurance and also rates and all that. So this is worrying, and that's what I believe the government will take it as its priority to try and mitigate and to see how best we can prevent any unnecessary escalation in the cost of living.
Very true. And Mr. Dhantunge, before I let you go, I want to ask you one last question with regards to this attack. Definitely has shaken up the region. The Indian subcontinent, it's taken us by surprise. It's taken the Sri Lankan authorities by surprise. So just to understand, how vulnerable has this particular attack made the shipping routes and the trading routes in this very region, not just Sri Lanka, but also all other countries that access this very trading route, that access the Indian Ocean at this point of time?
Well, actually, this is something to be seen, and we always knew that Sri Lanka is very strategically placed, and the maritime route is very, very important for the West and the East trading purposes. But this is the first time after probably World War II we are seeing this kind of situation that has to be really studied very carefully, and also I think diplomatic level it has to be balanced without allowing it to go beyond everybody's control, because that will have huge impact on this region, not only our country, which is just closest to the international maritime route, but of course that can destabilize the entire region as well. So I think regionally, everybody in this country, in this region, has to get together and try and come to some sort of arrangement to prevent any further this kind of situations arising.
Right, Mr. Dhantunge, thank you so much for speaking to us and bringing in your insights to the table in terms of what this attack really meant for the Indian subcontinent and especially Sri Lanka, given the surprise in this very attack, the surprise element in this very attack, and also the loss of lives that we see, and how this entire region has been left vulnerable after this very attack.